How's it going, everybody? I'm just going to find myself real quick here. There we go. Okay. I'm going to try and answer questions if I can. We're live again, second week in a row, going live. Oop. Got to turn my volume down. There we go. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do, this is part 2 of 4 of Wines of the World. Last week we talked about Germany, France, Germany, France, Italy, and Ukraine. And this week we're going to talk about a few others. I'm going to start off with Austria. But first, I need some wine. Time for some wine. I got some Ferrante's Pinot Noir. Can't really see that. It's all, there we go. Pinot Noir, 2017. It's the Pinot Noir Reserve. Really good stuff. I worked at Ferrante's for about 3.5 years or so during my 5 years in my wine experience, and 2017 was the year that I started. So this was the wine that was made the first year I started working there. He made the wine, of course, but so this is a 5-year-old wine from 2017. I always do the swirl and the smell. First, I like to check out the color. It's got some pretty good color to it. A little dark because it's 5 years old. I get some tobacco a little bit. Some cherry, like black cherry a little bit. This is really good. Cheers. So if you've got some wine, crack it open. Let's have some wine. Let's check the comments out here. Nobody's talking yet. All right. So you can ask me anything you want. So in the meantime, we will start discussing wines of the world. First, I'm going to talk about Austria. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm not going to, there we go. I'm not going to show all the text like I did last week. I'm just going to show the map. There we go. Okay. So, wow, look at all that. Okay, from here, where is it? Wine regions. Okay, Austria. There we go. Here's the country of Austria. I'm going to have a heck of a time pronouncing any of that stuff. We got Steiermark, Burgenland, Niederösterreich. Say that again. Niederösterreich, something like that. Wine. I guess they grow wine in wine. They make wine in wine? Or is that ween? Yeah. Pronouncing these is going to be a fun one. Anyhow, so here's everything I can tell you about Austria. Austria has 3 major wine regions: Niederösterreich, Burgenland, and Steiermark. Those are the 3 main ones. In addition to all of those 3, there are 16 smaller wine regions. So Niederösterreich would be this one here. That one is the largest and produces Gruner Veltliner and Riesling. And Austria's largest wine production town is Langenois. Let's see if I can find that on here. Langenois. No. I gotta find a different map to find that. But That's the largest wine production town. Other varieties grown from Austria include Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Gris, Pinot Noir, Pinot Blanc, Zweigelt, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Chardonnay. Thanks for tagging people, John. John's producing or directing this show. So the next one I'm going to talk about, I'm going to go through these a little faster than I did last week. Here we go. Spain. Here we go. So these are the wine growing regions in Spain. País Vasco up there, La Rioja, right out there, La Rioja, sorry, and that's one of the more famous wine growing regions. Navarra, Catalunya, Aragon, Madrid, Valencia, Murcia, Andalusia. We got Extremadura over here. Extremadura. There we go. Castilla-La Mancha over here in the middle, next to Madrid, and then Castilla y Leon. I'm butchering these names, I know. And then finally, Galicia up here on the top. So, the grapes primarily grown in Spain are Tempranillo, Garnacha, Cariñena, Albarina, Viura, Macabeo, and Palomino. And then the region of La Rioja up here, that's the most famous wine region in Spain. People have been making wine there since the 2nd century BC. And then over here, where is it? Right there. Cava is one of the oldest sparkling wine appellations in Europe. It's actually not one spot, it's a collection of a handful of these different appellations. So it's always made by the traditional champagne method, which stipulates that the second fermentation takes place in the bottle. So Cava is a sparkling wine. It's like their version of champagne. Remember, champagne technically comes from France. You can get a sparkling bubbling wine anywhere, but only the ones from Champagne, France can be called champagne. Just like Cava is a Spanish thing. So it consists of all these Spanish wines, and they make it like a sparkling wine, just like champagne, but theirs is called Cava. So Tempranillo is the largest and most used grape in Spain. They use it for the majority of their wines. And then other wines that they make include Cabernet Sauvignon, Syrah, and Monastrell. Okay. Whoop. Okay, we're back. Just going to check the comments real quick. See people that I recognize. Hey, Jamie. Hey, John. Charlie's watching. And Tanya Miller. Thanks for watching. So if you guys got any questions, go ahead and ask me. Gonna have some more wine. So it's a bummer about these live episodes. I can't do the slow motion shots like I like to do. The typical Red Bearded Wine Snob episode, you see a slow motion shot of the wine swirling. You'll see a slow motion shot of the pour. Anything I can slow motion, I'll try and get. But can't do that this time. So There, that's slow motion. Okay, back to it. Okay. So the next country we're going to talk about is Portugal. So right off of Spain to the left. So I've got two maps here. Start off with this one. So you can see with Portugal, I can't pronounce any of those. Okay, go back to my text. Well, Portugal, the oldest wine region in the world is the Douro Valley. And it's the home of the port wine. Portugal is famous for making a very sweet red wine called a port, which, that's named after where the country comes, Portugal. I'm going to open up that second map. There we go. So there's the Douro Valley I was talking about. That'd be right there. They make their ports. They make a white port as well as a regular red port. The Douro Tinto, yeah. So anyhow, most of the regions within Portugal are very hot. I mean, Spain, Portugal, that whole area is a very hot country, so they grow a lot of hot climate grapes there. So the valley region is for the Douro Valley is bordered by a long mountain range with steep slopes dipping down to the Douro River. These geographic features create the perfect climate to produce delicious wines. That's all over there in the Douro. They got the mountains. You can see from this map, there's a lot of mountains all through this area right here, and with the river going right through it, that helps. I mean, with the drainage, grapes need excellent drainage, so that's why you can usually see them growing on hilltops and mountainsides. And then also having the ocean right here, having a large body of water, that always helps grapes grow. You need, it creates like the hot air goes out towards the lake at night or during the day, and then at night it does the opposite. Heat comes off of the lake back in towards the grapes, especially during the wintertime. The lake, I live under a lake. Sorry, I'm saying the lake, but the lake, the ocean, whatever huge body of water, it acts as helps keep them warm. So burrata, let's see if I can find that on here. Where is burrata? Aha, there it is, right there, in the Bier Atlantico wine growing region. It's a historical site as well as a winemaking region. It was once a battleground between the Christians and the Arabs back when Portugal was a kingdom. So if you ever get a chance to visit this part of the world, you can also check out the cool local history that it's got, being an ancient battleground. Let's see, Madeira. Where is that one? That was down. Aha, Madeira, the island, right there. So it's an island off of Portugal. Madeira wine is close behind port wine as the second most iconic wine in Portugal. The wine is kept in steel barrels for 3 months at a temperature of 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. These are artificially heated to speed up the process. However, the highest quality wines are heated up naturally in the sun and can be left untouched for up to 100 years. That's crazy. 100 years. Normally, your wine's not going to make it that long. It's gonna start to go bad after so long. But this one, if it's done right, if they made it correctly, it can hold up and taste delicious for up to 100 years. That's crazy. And then Alentejo is one of the finest wine regions in Portugal. The New York Times named Alentejo the new Tuscany. That's right there. So that is Portugal. Let's see. Let's take a look down here real quick. Yeah, 554,000 acres of vineyard space in Portugal. They make some delicious wines there for sure. Check the comments. All right, lots of tagging. Hey Bob. Hey Tom. Thanks for watching. All right. So next, we go to South Africa. South Africa makes some delicious wines as well. I can't pronounce any of this stuff. There's Breedekloof, Worcester, Klein Karoo, Langeberg Garcia. Anyhow, these are just well, let me look at the text here. All right. So the most renowned regions are Stellenbosch. Let's see, they didn't label that here. Stellenbosch, Paarl, and Constantia. There we go. Constantia. There we go. Paarl. Okay. And then Stellenbosch, which probably labeled underneath where the picture stops. So some of the main grape varieties are Pinotage, Chenin Blanc, Cabernet Sauvignon, Colombard, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Syrah, Gewürztraminer, Riesling, Trebinillo, Semillon, and Muscat. And they also do some Merlot. A little bit of Pete Verdot, Malbec, Kinsault, and Cabernet Franc as well. An interesting thing about the Pinotage is South Africa's very own grape variety. It is a cross between Pinot Noir, the stuff I'm drinking today, and Kinsault. It doesn't taste like Pinot Noir, however. It offers a juicy raspberry to blueberry fruit flavors with spiced chocolate and tobacco. The wines are much more dense, higher alcohol, and typically more savory than a Pinot Noir. They often get blended with the Syrah. So that's South Africa. Next, we're going to go to Australia. Here we go. Australia. So this is a nice little chart here. So the number of wine regions, there's 65 different wine regions in Australia. But that breaks down to just a few of the main ones, of course. The 2,500 wineries, 6,300 grape growers. We got 1.73 million total harvest tons. Anyways, so the white varieties, you got Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Semillon, Pinot Grigio, and Riesling. And then the red varieties, Shiraz, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Pinot Noir, and Grenache. most of their grapes, you can see they're all grown on the very south border of Australia. Nothing really growing up here in the north or in the middle, anywhere up there. It's all down here: Hunter Valley, Heathcote, Yar Valley, Mornington, Riverina, Coonawarra, McLaren Vale, Eden Valley, Barossa Valley, Clare Valley, and then over here, Margaret River. So Australia spent millions of dollars building up the brand around Shiraz, which is the Australian word for Syrah. Syrah grows the rest of the world. They just named it Shiraz. Their main vineyards produce Syrah and Chardonnay. Also grown is Pinot Noir, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Sauvignon Blanc. The three major regions by sheer volume are South Australia, New South Wales, and Victoria. So there we go. That's all South Australia, New South Wales, and then over here, Victoria. Oh no, I'm wrong. Victoria's down here. So then Western Australia over in the corner, they've got a little pocket too. Okay. Yeah, South Australia and New South Wales are known for warm climate varieties such as Shiraz and Cabernet Sauvignon, while Victoria offers the cool climate loving Pinot Noir. And you can also look out for GSM blends. A GSM blend is a blend of Grenache, Syrah, and Mortevier, which is also a French Southern Rhone wine, as well as being made in Australia. Okay, pop back over here for a minute. Anybody in the comments? All right. Well, if you happen to check out the Jam Session Goes Underground with DJ Jazzy J, that was just on a couple hours ago. Came on at 5 o'clock on this channel. I was the guest. That was a fun time. This is good Pinot Noir. So, on that show, I was watching it because it was all pre-taped a week ago. So I got to actually sit back and watch it as it aired live today. I noticed Charlie Thompson spoke up. He asked a question on there. Charlie Thompson's one of the people you see on Cosmos Creative TV. Likes to answer a lot of questions and keep us all up in good spirits. Also a very good musician himself. He asked a question about the new Pink Floyd song that came out. Last week, I talked about Ukraine a little bit, about the grape varieties, the grape regions in Ukraine. And since then, Pink Floyd released a new song. And it was all to benefit Ukraine. The song's called Hey Hey Rise Up. And if you download the track, you have to pay for it. All the proceeds go to help out humanitarian efforts in Ukraine. So if you have a chance, go check out that song. It's all the vocals are done by Andriy Kievnyuk, who is a Ukrainian musician for the band Boombox, and he sings the song Red Viburnum in the Meadow, and it's a very moving song. You gotta check it out. This whole war thing needs to stop. Everything happening in Ukraine, Russia needs to stop. So there's the story on the Pink Floyd song. I just wanted to answer that question from another show, but I saw it today, so I had to answer that question. So I'm going to ask you guys, what are some of your favorite wines? Tell me. You can put it in the comments what your favorite wines are, or if you have a favorite wine growing region or a winemaking region. I've got one more country to discuss. So we are going to discuss New Zealand. There we go. New Zealand has some really great wines coming out of it. There's some pretty good apprentice programs for people that go to school for enology or viticulture. If you want to learn about winemaking and growing grapes, I've known some people that have I've known people that have known people who have gone to New Zealand to learn how grapes grow down there and how they make their wines. Their vineyards are located no further than 80 miles from the ocean, so they have an advantage there. They receive long sunlight hours and nights cooled by the sea breezes. We got Marlborough is the largest region in New Zealand, producing Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Riesling, Pinot Gris, and Gewürztraminer. That would be right there, Marlborough. One of the biggest wine producing regions in New Zealand. Hawke's Bay is the second largest. That would be right here. And they've been around since 1851. They produce Merlot, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Gris, Syrah, and Pinot Noir. And some of the other regions include Central Ortaga, Gisborne, North Canterbury, Wairarapa, Nelson, Auckland, Northern, and Waitaki. There's also Bay of Plenty. Let's see. Martinborough. Yep, and that's all I can see. There's one more down here at the bottom. Oh, no, that's Central Ortaga, and then Canterbury's above that. Okay. And then up here, let's see, where's Gisborne? There we go. Gisborne, up here, is the first place in New Zealand you can see the sunset, or the sunrise, sorry, and claims Captain Cook's first landfall. Just a little fact about that place. They claim that was Captain Cook's first landfall on his way to Never Never Land. Any more comments? Bob Ross says he's grown grapes, but they didn't do so well because they pollinated with the muscadines hanging out in the woods and all the big seeds when they were supposed to be seedless. Yeah. And Jamie says, I love the barefoot sweet red wine. I come from the wine country in southern Illinois. I love the Alto Pass vineyard. Nice. Yeah, I haven't actually tried any Illinois wines. I'll have to see if I can order one sometime. I've had barefoot a couple of times. If some restaurants I've had barefoot, and then I think I was at a hotel one time, and I think I had to get it barefoot then. Usually I try to get something from Ohio, but you can't always get an Ohio wine. M says, my husband loves muscadine wine. Yes, muscadine is good. They make Moscato with that one, or from Muscatel. There's a couple of them, but yeah, Moscato d'Asti. That was the very first wine I ever drank, and it's a very sweet wine. And I was actually stationed in England at the time, and one of my friends, uh, can't remember his first name, but well, I don't need to say his name. But anyhow, he he says, "Oh, you've got to try some Moscato." And I was like, "Moscato? I'm wine? I never drinking wine before." I was like, well, we're like 18, 20 year olds. 18 to 20-year-olds don't usually drink wine. But he's like, "Oh yeah, you drink this Moscato before we go out to the club." It was like 5% alcohol. So that's what we did. And it was, being a newbie to the wine world, the sweet wine I was all about the sweet stuff. So Moscato, I thought that was just delicious. That was my introduction to wine. So after that, several years went by before I finally made the switch from sweet to dry after I tried some Zinfandel. I've told that story before. Get some Zinfandel and some extra sharp cheddar cheese, mix the two, have them together. It's the best way to get into dry wines. Okay. Bob Ross corrects me. There actually was a Captain Cook for the British Empire. He was a navigator and an explorer. So that was probably his first stop when he stopped at New Zealand there. Yeah, Zinfandel's good stuff. I think the way I was showing that off was because I'd had white Zinfandel in the past, which is pink. You know, it's a it's a rosé. It's a blush. They take the red Zinfandel grapes and they press it right away, and they don't let it sit on the skins, and then they turn that into a wine, and it tends to be a little bit sweeter. Sometimes they make a sparkling out of it, and you see that at a lot of weddings. That's your white Zinfandel. And first time somebody told me about Zinfandel, I was thinking of that stuff. And then I got the Zinfandel. I'm like, oh, this is a dark red. And I poured it and I took a sip. I'm like, oh, wow, it's all spicy and it's tannin sucking off the liquid off of my tongue. Very choppy, And I didn't have the cheese with me at that point. And it was probably too early on in my journey to be a wine drinker yet. But that was my first experience of the Zinfandel. And I was like, oh my God. So then a couple times later, I was talking to somebody about that very subject, and I was like, "Here, try some." I had some. It's funny that I didn't like the stuff, but I still had some. I was like, "Here, try it." And I was like, "See, it doesn't taste anything like the white Zinfandel, but if you try it with this, I guess you're supposed to try it with the extra sharp cheddar cheese if we're going to be snobby about it." So you get the cheese. And then I took a sip. I was like, do I oddly like this? Took another bite. Took another sip. Started tasting kind of good. I was like, that's different. How come I didn't like it a month or two ago, but now I kind of do? And then a couple of months later, I tried the same thing again, and I liked it even more. It's like now I can suddenly taste all those notes that people were talking about with the blackberries, and you can smell the chocolate and the tobacco, and could never smell that fruit flavors in the past. Could never taste those either, but now they're like popping out like crazy. You just gotta start drinking some dry wines, and eventually you'll love them. I gotta see that. What did he say? Bob Ross says the last wine I enjoyed before tequila destroyed the whole party was Merlot. Oh boy, yeah, tequila will do that. Yeah, Merlot, that is good stuff too. If you get a really good Merlot, delicious. Hi, Madeline. How's it going? Some of these episodes are pre-taped. I don't get to engage the audience, but I figured this time I'd chat with you guys for a little bit. I will go ahead and do the wine trivia. Last episode one, let's see, 1 of 4 of the wines of the world, just 2 weeks ago, I asked a trivia question. What country makes the most Pinot Noir? This stuff here. Even though this is the Grand River Valley, a state-grown Ohio, the United States is not the country that makes the most Pinot Noir. We do make some awesome Pinot Noir, especially up in Oregon. But the one country that makes the most is France. Bordeaux. Burgundy. Yeah. That France makes the most by far. So the new question, what is a fortified wine? I can't tell you right now. If you can leave it in the comments if you know, explain what a fortified wine is. I'll tell you again next week, or 2 weeks from now. Let's check the comments one more time. A lot of tequila drinkers out there. Yeah, I can't do the tequila. Tequila destroyed. I had a bad experience with tequila. I think it was one of my cousin's weddings way back in the day, and there was a lot of tequila. I can't drink tequila again. It was a bad night. Just too many shots of tequila. Yep, it's in the comments already. Yep, go ahead and discuss fortified wine. I can't tell you this week. But I can tell you, if you go to M Cellars, which was one of the wines I was talking about last episode, they've got an awesome fortified wine. I can't think of the name of it. Madeline. I don't remember. I'm not going to try and mess it up. But yeah, if you just ask about their fortified wines, they've got one. Dolce Raz, I think, may actually be a fortified wine. They've got one. Yeah, it's like a raspberry flavored wine. I can't talk about it too much because I can't tell you what a fortified wine is yet. You'll have to tune in 2 weeks to find out that one. All right. Well, I think that's all I'm going to do for today. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Make sure you check out some of the other shows on Cosmos Creative TV. You got Belongs to the Shadows from Jamie Bennett. That's an awesome show. She also does the Jam Session Goes Underground. Every now and then you might see The Warrior Within. I don't know if that's still coming around, but that show's an awesome one too. Let's see. Tom Cheshire's Rory Bennett. I'm mixing up everybody's name. Jamie Bennett. Rory Penland has It's Casual. Burn It Down is from Tom Cheshire. All these shows are awesome. You're going to see General Howitzer's Big Monster Briefing Room coming around pretty soon. That show's really cool. Ranting and Racing with Jon Phipps. And he has one other show. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. Make sure you go check out all the shows on Cosmos Creative TV. And enjoy the wine. Drink responsibly. I'll see you next time.